Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, that looks almost set to take place now in 2021. Given everything that's been going on, in the world, that fight, they want fans in attendance. They want to maximize revenue because there's not as much demand on that fight as there was for the second fight, because it was so one-sided that we kind of already know the outcome of the third fight. There's always the possibility that Deontay Wilder could land something on Tyson Fury, but it seems unlikely, given what we've seen from Deontay Wilder, or lack thereof, and the absolute ridiculous excuses. So it seems like that fight is going to get pushed back to 2021. I'm indifferent. I don't particularly want to see a third fight. I've seen it twice. I thought Tyson Fury won both. Well, he won the first fight, and I thought he won the first fight, and he beat the crap out of Wilder in the second fight. I've seen it. It's been there. It doesn't have the same appeal as the rematch did. That goes without saying. But I seen an article in the Sun newspaper. I think they were alluding to the fact that Tyson Fury and Frank Warren are looking to put on a pay-per-view show for Fury, even if it is behind closed doors, at some stage in December of this year. I'm assuming after Joshua fights Pula, probably towards the end of December, just before Christmas. Now, that's fine. I think you keep Fury active. That's good. It will kind of... Because look, I'll explain it to you here, right? I've got the top 15 of the WBC. I don't even know if you can see that there. But I've got the top 15 of the WBC. And I'm just going to be naming a couple of the guys who I think potentially may be opponents, because there's guys here we can just categorically rule out, right? So we've got Povetkin as the interim champion. Ain't going to happen. He's fighting Dylan White. That ain't going to happen. Deontay Wilder, again, we're waiting on that. Usyk in at number 2. Usyk is highly ranked. Again, he's fighting Chisora, so that's not going to happen. Luis Ortiz, okay, so they might get the wheelchair out and wheel him out. Seriously, they probably will try and put Luis Ortiz. That would probably be who they're looking at if they were to get Tyson Fury an opponent for December. Luis Ortiz, in recent interviews, I believe, was it D? It might have been D. I know if D Jefferson, Speaker Mind Sports TV, if you're watching this, I think it was one on your stream where you were saying that Ortiz was quoted as saying that he's feeling 35 years old. Oh man, he's allegedly 41 years old. The man is not 41 years old. No way. This is the guy who said he watched Muhammad Ali fight live. Muhammad Ali last fought live in 1981, and if Ortiz's age is to be believed, he would have been 2 years old, so I'm surprised he can even remember that. It's like a lot of these Cuban fighters, they not just Cuban, some African fighters like Sam Peter, their ages are very, very disputed. Like that Frank Sanchez guy, I do not care if his age is listed as being 28 years old. There is no way in hell he's a year older than me. No way in hell, because no way, right? So Luis Ortiz in at number 3. Why is he in at number 3? Has he even fought since he lost to Wilder? Ruiz in at number 4. Okay, not surprised about that, to be honest with you, to be fair. Dylan White, well, he's really fallen from grace, hasn't he? Number 5, and of course he's not going to be fighting. No, and I should point out, Ruiz is getting ready for his first fight with Eddie Reynoso. They're not going to take a world title fight straight out the bat. Joe Parker fighting in December, so won't be him. Dubois fighting Joyce, he's in at number 7, won't be him, obviously. In at number 8 is Oscar Rivas. Now that is a fight. Do you remember when Fury was just before Fury and Schwartz was announced, Tom Schwartz, back in June? Me, Hatman, I think a few others were making videos because we all heard it on the grapevine that Rivas was being looked on as a potential opponent for Tyson Fury, which we thought was that was going to be good, because we were thinking, okay, coming back off the Wilder draw, fight Oscar Rivas. He was coming off winner Brian Jones. We're like, that's a good opponent, decent, Fury would win, because Rivas is quite a small heavyweight, but and he's not your average kind of short heavyweight. He tends to fight more so on the back foot than he does as a front foot fighter, but still a good name. So Rivas is a fighter I definitely wouldn't rule out. So it's not a bad fighter. Oscar Rivas, certainly not. Filip Hrgovic in at number 9. I don't know how the hell he got that ranking. Seriously, I mean, who the hell has Filip Hrgovic fought? Answers on a postcard, please. I seriously don't know how the hell he got that ranking. Michael Hunter in at number 10. Oh, that would be a good fight. Michael Hunter caused Fury some problems. Make no mistake about it. I don't think they take that fight. Not that they're afraid of Michael Hunter or anything like that, but Michael Hunter brings very little to the table, and Michael Hunter is a very, very underrated fighter. You know, he is a short heavyweight. He is fast. He can move quite well. I don't think that Fury and his team will be looking at that fight, not because they're afraid of Hunter, because it's the kind of Michael Hunter. It's unfortunate he's in the category of the who needs you kind of club. You know, it's like who needs him. You know, you're not going to gain anything in terms of, you know, popularity or anything like that by beating him, because he's not got a massive fan base and he's a very good fighter, so you run a high chance of losing. You know, Joe Joyce in at number 11, yet again fighting Dubois, so we won't see that. Chisora 12, fighting Usyk, so no. Charles Martin number 13. That might be an interesting one. I'm nearly sure at one stage last year they were teasing Charles Martin as a potential opponent for Tyson Fury. Obviously that never materialised, but I'm nearly sure they did. Last two were F.A. Ajagba. F.A. Ajagba, top rank fighter, just started out with top rank. He needs so much work, it's not even funny. He is extremely crude. You know, he needs a lot of work. Not a whole. He doesn't need to be, and he knows himself. He said he's like 2 years off a world title, so no go. And then finally, Ajed Kabayel in at number 15. Ajed Kabayel is not a bad name. That top 15, and I'm a Fury's champion now, right? So he has to fight in the top 15. Okay, it's not like before where he could use the lineal heavyweight championship status and just pluck a Tom Schwartz from obscurity. It's not going to happen. It has to be in the top 15. Who would I like him to fight out of the available fighters? Because let's forget they're not all available. I would probably go with Oscar Rivas. Alright, that you could do that on pay-per-view. He's known for having his fight with Dylan White. It's a good name. It's not a bad name. You know, Oscar Rivas is a good fighter. Is he still with Top Rank? Oscar Rivas? Or was he ever with Top Rank? I know he fought on Top Rank. I know when he fought Jennings, that was a Top Rank card. So I don't know about that, but surely he's worked with Bob Arum, so it might not be the hardest to get that fight made. Ortiz, is that probably who they'd be likely to look at if they were to have a fight this year? Because Ortiz, like I say, he's been out of the ring for a year. He's feeling 35. You know, I love that saying. Most people say that, you know, they feel 24, 25 when they're a little bit older. So if he's feeling 35, damn. Yeah. But Ortiz, will they look at getting him in there? Possibly. You know, I think Ortiz at this stage, I think he wants to cash out. I think that's what Ortiz wants. Just wants a big money fight, you know, which is crazy. You know, looking back a few years ago, I thought Ortiz was gonna, you know, he was gonna do some serious work in the heavyweight division. You know, goes to show things change. In terms of the rest of there's not really anyone else. Like, I mean, Charles Martin, will they get that? No, probably not. You're really looking at two names out of that list that I just named, who you could really accurately say, yeah, I could see that fight happening. The most obvious one would be Oscar Rivas. I know Tyson Fury, I think, wants to have a fight before the end of the year, just to keep himself active, to keep the motivation going. So, you know, it'd be interesting. Obviously, I'm happy to see Tyson Fury in there. I like watching him fight. He hasn't fought in the UK since his comeback fight in 2018. He hasn't fought in the UK since June. Let's not forget that, right? So he fought Cephas Fury in June 2018 in Manchester, right? Then he fought in Ireland. He fought in Belfast against Pianetta. And then he's been in America ever since. So he's only had one fight in the UK since he came back. Alright, so this would be a homecoming. It'd be his first fight since his comeback. So, you know, that'd be interesting to see. You know, AJ is probably going to do his homecoming behind closed doors, so Fury, I'm sure, will follow suit. Be interesting to see the numbers they do, though. So, yeah, if they announce it, I wouldn't mind seeing him against Rivas. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you'd like to see Fury in there. Out of the list I said, look, there's obviously better names, but we're just going to get them fights because they're all tied in. You know, unless someone like I'm just going to use this. This ain't going to happen, right? But let's say, for argument's sake, Chisora goes in there and he knocks Usyk out in a round, takes no shots. They might try and do that, but I doubt it. You know, that's a out there scenario, but that's kind of one of them. So, you know, those are my thoughts on this. Let me know yours down below. Who would you like Tyson Fury to fight out of that name I just mentioned, those names there? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, smash the like button, subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. As always, people, I'll talk to you. Peace.